kwazwai vatereri. Regai tipinde mune chimwe chikamu chakatinakira question and answer segment. Muri kuona vandinawo pano ndina Elder Mabhena, ndo vamuri kuona vari kuruboshwe rwangu, vari kurudyi rwangu vanonzi Elder Tasi. Ini ndiri kutaura ndinoitwa Elder Mashatini. Musegment inoi tine zvimwe zvatinoda kunzwa kubva kuna Elder Mabhena, mumharidzo dzavanotibuditsira tichiteerera dziri kutikomborera mukutaura kwavo, asi mukati memharidzo dzavo nedzidziso dzavari kuita vanhu vari kudzinzwa, vari kukomenda, but panoratidza kuti pane kumwe kusanzwisana kuri kuita mukudzidzisa kwavari kuita, especially mukubata kwavari kuita zvimwe zvezvimwe zvinoitwa neleadership. Vane mubvunzo wekutanga watingauya kwamuri nawo Elder Mabhena, mukudzidzisa kwamuri kuita muri kunzi mimi muri kuti church ine mari dzairi kuba kubva kuleadership kusvika matobudisa mavara ekuti kubva kuGC zvichidzika kusvika kuzasi kwechurch leadership yacho macriminals nekuda kwekuita kwavari kuita. Mungagona here Elder kuti buditsira pachena umbowo kuitira kuti vanhu vanzwisise kuti zvamuri kutaura izvi hamusi kungotaura ichokwadi, chamungagona kuti parurira vanhu vakanzwisisa.
Let me first greet you. I greet you all. First, I would like to explain the relationship between the church and the church leadership. I think we have to separate the two, because the leadership, especially in that Adventist church, the leadership is elected by the church. They are not founders of the church. It's different from Makandiwa, Magaya's church. They own the church because they are founders. But in the Adventist church, leaders are elected to lead the church. So actually we're saying the leadership are not the church, but they are leading the church as per election. So when you are now leading the church, you are holding a position of trust, which means whatever you will say, whatever you will do, people will trust your word, will trust your actions. So now, in the Adventist, there are committees. Right. The first committee is the body of the church, which is from the local church. From the local church, we have the pastor, who is the chair of the board of the church. Then from there, we have the conference. From there, we have the union of conference. Then from there, we are going to have divisions of unions. Then we go to the last committee, which is GC, the General Conference, which is a committee overall the whole world. It's the committee leading the whole world, the church in the world. Right. So now, why am I saying the money is stolen from the church? It is because when members of the church are tithing and offering and taking money to the conference or to GC or to wherever committee or office, what am I saying is the Adventist church believe in a storehouse method where we take our tithe, send them to conference. But remember, conference is a storehouse. When money is taken there, we have to be taken back again, because the local church, that's where the business is. That's where we do evangelism, we do crusades, we call what we call Zunde, where people would go for another cities preaching the gospel. So they will need funds. So now, if the money is taken to conference, when we have a program which requires funds, the conference will have to bring back the money to fund the program. But now, the conference is taking 150% because they're taking the tithe, 100% of it. The church is just tithing and they're not retaining anything. On the issue of offering, they are taking the 50% and leaving the 50% at the local church. But the 150 which went to conference, the 150 is going where there is no business, where there is just administration. So now, how can we have 150% of the amount where there is only administration but there is no evangelical business? Because the evangelical business is at the local church. I hope you are getting me now. So now, the concerns of the silenced members, they speak in some corners of the church. They don't speak in the public. But they have their concern. Why is it the local church is left with an empty bag, where there is business, where everything, where activity of evangelism is taking place? So everyone has that complaint. But they have a problem. Where would they take their concern to? Because the theologians are the ones who have designed the system which benefits them. So now, the question I was asking in the sermon, where is the man taken to? Because when the man is taken, it just disappears. It just disappears. And the members are not allowed to ask, where is the man taken to? They are just told, when you tithe, when you offer, you don't ask how the man is used. It is only your duty to tithe and offer. Then, on the principles of stewardship, when a steward, they are teaching members that a steward person must be vigilant. But why is it that I'm not allowed to question? Because stewardship principle allow members to question. They have to know how funds are handled by the leadership. So why am I calling leadership thieves? That's the first point. They have designed a system which only benefits the leadership. They are using a system which was the Levitical priesthood system, where people would tithe, and that tithe was used by the priest. It was their portion. They were earning from tithing system. But now we have no priest. Can anyone tell me, Kuti, if you go to Solus, you are inheriting a Levitical priesthood by going to Solus, by going to any theological institution? We cannot be priest. We cannot be Levitical priesthood by having degrees and A levels. That's number one. So you cannot have money. You cannot channel money the way it was being channeled in the ancient times of Israel, because we no longer have the priest. We no longer have the Levitical system, where everyone is now an evangelist. Everyone, elders working for God, and we have evangelists, we have pastors. No one is a Levite. But the GC system, because it was designed by theologians who wants to benefit from the system they have designed, what they are doing now, the tithe, according to the constitution of GC, tithe is used by the theologians, by the ministers only. Tithe does not cater for any evangelical activity. It is used for allowances of pastors. They are benefiting from it, and for salaries. This is why pastors are trying to secure the pulpit. Look, the manual states that the pulpit belongs to pastor, not to elders. The elders are given, they are actually representing the pastor at the pulpit. But why did you design a system which says the pastor is the owner of the pulpit, as if the Holy Spirit have given gifts to other members for nothing? They will have to have those gifts and sit down, because the pulpit where we can practice our gifts, the system is designed, then it says it belongs to the pastor. So the pastor will be the one choosing the person who is on his side. Why do we design a system which protects leadership, which does not protect the members? And the members are trained, they have manipulated the mind of the members. They are trained to protect leadership. Themselves, they are even vulnerable. They don't care of themselves, they don't protect themselves, they are protecting the leadership. I don't know if you are getting why I am saying they are thieves. Because the way they are channeling the tithe, it's no longer the Levitical one.
Right.
So everyone can inherit from tithe and offering because we are all ministers. As long as we participate, we spend our time in the ministry, then we have to pay them. But they've designed that system which only benefit those who went to school. That's number one. Right. This is why I called it. I called them thieves. That's the first one. The second one, I called these committees of criminal committees. But it seemed to be so deep and provocative when you call someone a criminal. But now, why am I calling them criminals? You know, under the sun, only a criminal can threaten someone. Because now, through that sermon, they are threatening me. They are telling me to have my name excommunicated from the register of the church. So, if you know what you are doing is right, why are you threatening someone? Because if you are not robbing people, you have to present your things publicly and people understand you. But now, instead of giving evidences of their correctness, they are threatening me to be silenced. Only a criminal can do that. And the members have been threatened for years. If you have a concern, they don't answer you. If you have a question, they don't answer you. They will just tell you, open your own church. So what are you hiding? If you have nothing to hide, you have to be able to address people when they have concerns. You have to be able to deliver answers when there are questions. Because this is a religion where people believe where there is evidence. You don't force people to believe, but you present your things clearly and people volunteer to believe. But people cannot die for the sake of belonging. Because they will tell you, if you want to be an Adventist, believe what you say. Then my question is, whose church is the Adventist church? Because if theologians have the power to chase people out of the church, then they are the owner of the church. They are lying to the people. Because if you are not the owner, but I'm the one who have elected you to be a leader, then I'm asking you as a leader, and I have my concerns, then they are threatening both with their elders, telling me to go out of the church. For how long? Elder Maslatini, look at the system. I told them that you have actually dragged your church, the church members. You have given them a sleeping tablet. But if another person comes and tries to awake the members, you will chase the person out of the church. Because you enjoy the sleepiness of the members. Then my question is, if you are chasing out the person who is trying to awake the members, then who are you protecting? Are you protecting members or the person who have poisoned the members?
Right.
Because now, if you read chapter, I'll just give one verse from the early church.
Right.
Because actually we are living in the new covenant. We are living in the system where the new covenant dominates. So in chapter 6, we read of the early church. They were giving their offerings, but the offerings were what they called evangelism first, they were catering for the need. Those who have no shelter, they were given shelter by the church. Those who have no food, those who have no clothes. Church was designed in a way to be a father or a mother of the community. That's how Jesus designed the church. Jesus did not design the church for him to benefit financially or his disciple to benefit financially. But he designed the church, a church to be a community of love and mercy, where people help each other, but in an orderly manner. For us to have order, we must have leadership. So people were bringing their offering to the leadership in a storehouse. And now church was a center of distribution. People came to church to be given what they don't have. This is why Ananias and Sapphira sold their land. They pledged it to the church. Because they were taught you cannot have a plant of land while others they don't have. You cannot have plant while others have nothing. So they pledged to share with others. Did our disciples drove nice cars? They did not have a luxurious life. But look at our pastors. They can talk about Makandiwa is stealing, Magai is stealing, and all the Pentecostal churches are stealing from members. But look at the cars they're driving. They have farms, they have big lands. And when you tithe and offer, they will come to the members and tell them, even the money which is left in your pocket is not yours. It still belongs to God. But when they are given their salary, they begin to develop their life, their own life. They are developing their life. Their children are going to expensive schools. But the person who is tithing is very poor. So, how the system is designed to benefit certain people. And you cannot call evangelism. It seems today that they are coming to you, elders, to promote stewardship and to tell members that we need money to fund the gospel. Is it? But when they need money to fund the gospel, then the gospel, they are taking money where the gospel is. And they're leaving the gospel without fund. Then when we ask, is the stomach of the pastor evangelism? Are the people funding evangelism, or they are funding the stomach of the pastor? This is why I am saying there is theft and criminalism. They don't want their things to be transferred. Why did you come up with a doctrine which says when you tithe and offer, don't ask where the money goes? I don't know if there is any question.
Okay, viewers, this is Mr. Mabhena that clarifies a multi-billion question. Why he is calling the leadership team or varikutaura zikuva pasipemwe wavo pakadzika mashoko aya asi maduku ya vari kuburitsa zvakadzika zvinobva pasi pemwe wavo zvine mibvunzo even kune vamwe vanhu, even vamwe vachitya kungozvitaura pajekerere, vachinyuta vari kuseri, voita kunge vanoda vanhu vacho, but vachizoti kana vabva vanotaura zviri kuratidza kuti zvinovabata. Chakakosha hama dzangu kuva clear pazvinhu zvese. Vese vari kutoratidza kuti zvakataurwa havazvifariri, but ndimwe concern yavatori nayo yavanogara vachichema panzvimbo zhinji. But Mr. Mabhena vari kubudisa pachena chokwadi chavanacho, vari kuya nacho zvakajeka zvisina kuvanda kuti vagone kubatsirika. Vazhinji vedu tinotora dambudziko iroro, tiri kutotyawo kuzvitaura, but zvirimo mukati mwedu. Mumakona matinenge tiri tutozvitaura, but tikasvika pane vatiri kuti imbavha tinobva taita zino irema, asi iri concern yatinayo pai mukati mwemwoyo wedu. Regai tinzwe zvinotevera.
And what if made elders to protect theologians, it is because they are benefiting pulpit. They want power. They want influence. They don't want to lose their position of influence. They enjoy to say, "Good morning, church." They enjoy that power. So now, if they go against the theologian, the manual states that the pulpit belongs to a theologian. So if the theologian says, "Stand on the pulpit on behalf of me," then if they have a concern toward a theologian and they are against what the theologian do, they will lose the pulpit. And also, this is why theologians say, if you seem to have questions and concerns, they'll say, "Don't give him pulpit, don't give him positions." So now elders and other people who have power hunger, they are scared to lose the positions they have. That's the problem. They are not defending pastors wholeheartedly. They know what they are defending. And they know they are not defending pastors. They are defending the positions they have. And they have been trained by theologians that one. Let's look at the next effect. The Bible tells us if a person desires to be an elder, to hold leadership position in the church, he must have a good care of his family. But theologians changed it. He must have a good tithing. Right. See now. So now leadership position, when it comes to elders and deacons in the Adventist church, it has nothing to do with how you live. It has to do with how you tithe, how you feed the pastor. Right. So it's like now we are buying positions, because if you don't tithe, they will not give you leadership position. No matter if you take good care of a family, you are an example even in the community, you live well, but their standard of faithfulness is money. That's how they've designed it, because they will always want to benefit. So I think it's high time to go back and review the system. This is, I always say, we need a financial reform, because the church is struggling in funding the gospel, yet the money is taken where there is no gospel. You know, they are enjoying to fly. They fly to Mozambique, Botswana, America, in the area of administration. And when they go there, the hotels they book are expensive. Very expensive. And at that workshop, they will have to earn a certain amount of being out. There must be an allowance. And they will always come. There is this, everyone knows that the SDA church bought Green Mountain. That land, that institution was very expensive. Green Mountain. They bought buildings and the land. Very expensive. And they tell us the Adventist church doesn't have money. And if you are a member, you want to conduct your wedding at Green Mountain, you actually have funded Green Mountain to be bought. But when you want to conduct your anniversary, your wedding at Green Mountain, they will tell you we want a certain amount of money. When you say, but these are the offices of the church, they will tell you these are the offices but not church. So why are we still blind? They will tell you these are the offices and not the church. So when you come here, you have to pay. You don't pay when you enter the gate of the church. But this one is not the church, it is an office. So they are buying buildings for their office. They want a comfortable workplace. They don't care whether you sleep with hunger, whether we are dying where you are. The next one, I want to finish this conversation. The next one.
Okay, viewers, before we go to the last segment, this is a multi-billion-dollar question that Mr. Mabhena tries to answer. Why he is calling the leadership criminal? That is why our last segment.
Okay. What I wanted to say, if the treasurer of the church just get $1 lost, the conference will tell he or her to pay our dollar. We want what has been receipted as it is. Whether the money is lost or not, they don't understand. But look, how many church members are backsliding? People are withdrawing from the Adventist church. People are backsliding. People are leaving the church. But the conference have never descended to the church to address the problem. Why people are withdrawing their faith? Why people are backsliding? But when $1 is lost, the GC, the union, the division, the conference will unite and come to the local church just for $1. But how many members are backsliding and they don't care? When you are a member, get lost. But make sure our money is protected. We baptize people, we don't see them. What we only have in our register is their names. They go back to their system of life. But there is never a day where conference descended to the church and they ask, where are the baptized members? They are not concerned. They don't care about them. They don't care. Whether people are dying, whatever. Even if you are doing a business, what I can say, Makandiwa might be stealing Magaya in the other leaders of other churches. But why the members are still bringing money to the church? It is because their pastors have time. I want to pray for a business. The reason why their business is prolific, it is because Makandiwa once prayed for the business of someone. So that person is willing to offer something. Because Makandiwa told that I'll pray so that God will open your path. And something happened. But have you ever seen an Adventist pastor in your home? Adventist pastors, they don't visit poor people. They visit those who have money already. They don't visit poor people. Meaning, if we have a business, we have to struggle with it. You pray for it alone. Not even an elder, not even a pastor will come and say, I want to pray for your business. So that you will have something to offer to the Lord. Because that was the business of the priest. They would wake up in the morning, raise their hands, bless the congregation. When they go out doing their businesses, when they farm, God will intervene. They bring tithe and offering in the house of the Lord. But how come we have pastors who doesn't visit? And pastors, they sleep the whole month, but they get their salary. What they do, they just compile reports from personal ministries, from elders, from every department. They tell you, make sure you write a report. And what he does, a district pastor, he compiles the report from the district and write his name. So he just get credit from the GC from what he has never labored for. So the pastor is just paid for doing nothing. And those who are busy doing something, they are struggling all day of their lives. So this is why, and myself, I cannot withdraw, I cannot disclaim anything. They must change this system. There must be a financial reform. There must be justice when it comes to financial system. Because we want recently you went to Mozambique. It was a program of the division. But how come someone sit down on a chair, lay his hands on a table where there is laptop, and start a program which you have never had funds for. Such a big committed office. And the person you have actually tithed. The check came to you, and you are coming back to the church and say, you are going to Mozambique, I have a program, but fund yourself. Fund yourself. But you came to me and say, give your tithing offering for evangelism. Now we are going to Mozambique for evangelism. You are saying you don't have money, you have to fund ourselves. Because if you say the district must pay for the transport and cater for something, then those who have put their money to the district treasury are the same people. Are the same people who are going to Mozambique. Meaning they are funding themselves, but the money is taken to where the program is programmed. Is that fair? I would like to ask the conference, the GC, all the committees, is what you do fair? Have you ever checked your members, how they live, how they are struggling? How can you go to widows and quote a story of a widow of Zarephath and say she gave all she had to Elijah? Are you Elijah? But Elijah, what Elijah did when that widow gave what she had, everything in the house began to multiply. But look at the widows in that Adventist church. The more they give, the more they become poor. Because we have no Elijah. So if you are a widow, you have to give to Elijah. If you don't give to Elijah, you suffer.
Thank you so much, viewers, for your time. This is Miss Mabhena. Chibuditsa pachena kufungwa ngava nemibvunzo mizhinji kubva kuvanhu vakasununguka kana muchida kunzwisisa zvizere pana chinotyisa kuti mugone kufesana navo vachitaura zvavari kutaura. Inyaya isiri yekuvanda kana yekunyepa yavari kutaura, vari kubuditsa pachena zviri kubva pasi pemwoyo wavo. Iri concern yevanhu vazhinji kunyange vasingadi kuzvitaura, but Mwari haarambi akanyarara anotaura nevanhu kuti zvizhinji zvibude pachena. Every teaching, every doctrine, big questions, big investigation, kuitira kuti zvive clear vanhu vaite zvinhu vakasununguka. Mwari haana matwi nevanhu vachitya. Mwari anamatwa nevanhu vanoita machoices from their heart vachibatsirwa nomweya waMwari. Tinoda kutenda vakateerera.